Guys, how does this phone even exist? The best battery I've ever seen, a flagship processor as fast as an S25 Ultra, and it costs half as much as the base iPhone 17. I thought surely there must be a catch, right? Why on earth did I spend a stupid amount of money on this useless Galaxy phone when this is just as good at a fraction of the price?
Or is it?
That's why today I'm going to show you what it's like using this phone next to my flagship and what exactly are you missing by saving a bunch of money. And just like every testing video, it all begins with an unboxing. Pro Max. That sounds very, suspicious. The little documents folder comes with a USB-C to the fat end USB cable. Why? A very thin but really nice feeling case, and after a quick taste test, I can approve the quality is pretty nice. And here is no charger brick. What do you mean no charger brick? You give me 100-watt fast charging and you tell me to stick to the peasant level fast charging unless I buy one of your own fast charging bricks. But then you realize that you're not even close to the price that you need to spend to get the free delivery. So then you go back and realize that they sell like 1 billion products, and honestly that's some genius marketing. This would be the perfect time to promote. No one wants to sponsor me today, but you could subscribe and help me reach 100 billion subscribers. And here's the phone, and what's up with all the writing and the stickers? It just looks like I got some Windows laptop. My sus meter keeps going up because I swear I've seen these cameras somewhere before. I just can't put my finger on it. There's a red ring around the power button, which I don't know what that means, but they thought it was cool enough to put on the marketing page. Like, what exactly are you promoting? And look, a pre-installed screen protector. I love that they do that. During the setup, I managed to leave like 1 million fingerprints on this thing, and just before I was done, it prompted me to install all of these recommended apps like Spider Hero and Future Self Face Aging Checker. Who is recommending this slop? And this is what a brand new home screen looks like. A bunch of slop like browsers, players, Copilot, Temu, a whole games folder on the home screen. Luckily you can remove all this stuff, and when you do, there's a very satisfying pop animation. There's even a whole new app store which has even more must-have apps, and here's that same app again, and at this point I feel like downloading it is the only right thing to do. But first, good morning gamers. I really wanted to test this crazy battery and these massive cameras, so today we have a mission. I found this place called the Kyoto Garden, which has a Japanese theme going on. It's beautiful, and I want to recreate this photo in 50 megapixel because what happened here? Why is it so low res? But that means I have to leave my house just like I do every single day. But first, let me test this stupid app. Weekly, £7 a week or £10 a... Who do you think I am? How many ads are there? Okay, let's try it. Oh my, what is... What is that? That's so creepy. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna say it. From the naming, to the camera bump, to the control center, they're literally just copying Apple. You can't even combine the control center with the notification panel. What's up with that? And if you put a timer or something, it looks exactly like an iPhone. To be fair, this is very familiar looking and it's actually really cool and useful, so I can't even blame them for copying this. Straight away, I knew this was gonna be a good day. Get it? Because of the name of this. Because the screen was actually really bright. Xiaomi says 3500 nits, which is basically as bright as it gets nowadays. And since I'm spoiled by Samsung, it looks really reflective. On the train, I encountered a little bug. I'm not sure if it's the phone or Chrome, but closing it fixed it, so I don't even know what happened. And then I discovered that in the widgets, they have a home screen pack called Snowball. Oh my god, it's me. How cute is that? But then speaking of widgets, what is this? There's so much clutter, AI, recommended games, horoscopes, trivia, football. What even is this menu? And then I made it to the park, which means camera testing time. Let me get one thing straight. This is not a camera phone. POCO doesn't do camera, but you just can't ignore a spec sheet that says Pro Max level, all-in-one system, whatever that means. The main sensor is 50 megapixels, which looks decent on paper. And then the second camera is an ultra wide, which is so neglected that it doesn't even have the specs. It's just 8 megabytes. That's it. Basically, don't worry about it. I've recorded everything in log, which I'm surprised that this phone even has it. I still don't get the point of because after grading, it has so much over sharpening on it. I get it for the stock camera. It's just for a bunch of noobs, but Log is literally for professionals, so why is it so processed? Even Walt agrees. He was like, "Come here, let me show you something." He led me down the park until we finally made it to the Kyoto Garden, which still looks really good even on this chopped camera. I took a few pictures and they looked cooked. Way too contrasty and over sharpened. But then I realized I can take raw photos in 50 megapixels, which gives you a 130 megabyte file. That is crazy. That is like 100 times more than a normal photo. So just before I crossed the bridge, I decided to take a picture of the waterfall in 50 megapixels. And after editing it, that looks good. I'll take the credit for the edit, but wow, RAW just saves this camera from all the crappy processing. And this picture is so much better than the one on Google Maps. I would just avoid the ultra-wide camera because that only records in 1080p and it looks like dog breath. They literally found the sensor in the bin. They put it on the phone and they were like, yep, look, dual camera, just like the iPhone. Consider this, I spent like 2 hours in the sun, max brightness, taking photos and videos, playing with Snowball, listening to music, scrolling on the train for like an hour, and I came home to 70%. That is, I don't even have a word. That is like the best battery I've ever tested. My S25 Ultra would have been crawling on its kneecaps by the end of that day. It's crazy to think that we're getting 8500 milliamp hour battery on a phone that's the same size and weight and thickness as an S25 Ultra. And if the phone runs out of battery in your entire lifespan, you can charge it back with 100 watts, which you're not gonna do because you don't have a fast charger, which they don't give you, and you're not gonna buy it. So hypothetically, it's just good to know. But they didn't stop there because the Dimensity 9500S is basically around the same level as last year's Snapdragon 8 Elite, which I don't even understand how that's possible. They are suddenly putting flagship level processors in mid-range phones. This absolutely cripples the Pixel 10 in Antutu. Not like it matters, but I tried downloading a PC game emulator like Game Native and Game Hub, and I don't have the footage for this, but Witcher 3 wouldn't even load. And then I tried a bunch of other games and they were just stuck on a black screen. I suspect that it's something to do with the drivers, so if you're into emulation, you're probably going to be better off with a Snapdragon. So yeah, on paper, this is like too good to be true. The specs are basically maxed out. The battery is unlimited. The screen is insane. Even the bezels, look how thin they are. It even has an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, so instant. Didn't even focus. It gets uncomfortably close to a flagship, and for a lot of people, this would be perfect. However, there's a reason why this is not a flagship, and I'm gonna start nitpicking, so don't be like, oh, but this is a mid-range. The camera sucks balls, okay? I get that this is a performance-focused phone, and the cameras are just basically a side quest. They're not even important at this point. But that's basically the main thing that feels extremely unbalanced on this phone. Why bother with log when it's still over sharpened? Why even put an ultra wide when it's borderline useless? The software is a little cluttered. Like, why is there AI in my widgets? And if you like camera as well, for a little bit more money, they have just the right phone for you. So because this phone is unbalanced, I wouldn't buy this for my grandma, even if she was still alive. If I was a gamer, I would just buy the Red Magic 11 Pro. And if I needed a decent camera, I would just buy a Pixel. So despite this phone being overpowered, I probably wouldn't buy this unless it was just for the battery. But I guess I'll see you in the next video. Hey look, I've got an outro for once. People keep complaining that the video